Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, let's head out and join BJ Reynolds for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
How we doing, Boise State fans? Good morning and welcome to Husky Stadium, one of the best scenes in all of college football. The boats, the tailgating, the fun is underway here in Seattle, Washington. What figures to be a memorable day, a fun day on Montlake. As you see the stadium, the folks hanging out, the tailgating. Thanks to Travis Hawks for sending along this footage, but what could be better? A beautiful day. That's right, the Boise State Band is here as well. Large contingent of Boise State fans wearing orange. You're going to be able to see them wearing orange in the corner of the stadium today. You got the cheerleaders here. This is the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. Lithia Ford, the all-new F-150 Lightnings. Jay Tuss and I will be broadcasting from one next week, next Friday, 9 a.m. Saw Jim Sturk from Lithia Ford here on the trip. Big Boise State fan. We appreciate Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford of Boise. You see the Boise State Band. You see the fans at the tailgate section. Nice contingent of Boise State fans made the trip on this one. Right there on a field right outside the stadium. Fans enjoying some drinks, wearing orange. You see those Australian flags right there. James, Ferguson, Reynolds' parents made the trip all the way from Australia, and that was them right there. Cool to see that they made the trip. And here you go, your Boise State football team arriving at Husky Stadium just a short time ago. All business. Got the headphones on. Got the game face. There's Tim Keene. Ahmed Hassanin, Jabril Frazier, one of the coaches, and the one that everybody is here to see coming around the corner. Your quarterback coming up, Taylon Green. Nice contingent of fans, by the way, as we wait for Taylon Green to come around the corner. There he is. Great editing on my part, did this on the fly, but there he is, Taylon Green, making his way into the stadium. Figures to be a big day for Taylon Green, big day for the Broncos here at Husky Stadium. Again, my name, BJ Reynolds. Welcome on in to the Bronco Nation News pregame show here in the press box at Husky Stadium. We got so much to get to today. We got interviews. We got analysis. We got Jordan Kaye down on the field. We talked to some players' parents. We talked to fans. We got all kinds of great stuff. So for the next hour and a half or so, we're going to get you set for Boise State football. Get your comments in, get your questions in, get your pregame predictions in. We will give away a $25 gift card to the James Kitchen and Bar for whoever gets the closest score prediction on the postgame show. So this is where we're at. You can see we're in the press box high atop Husky Stadium. That is a live look as fans are starting to make their way. I think the gates just opened. You can see the fans down there as well. As I pan the camera just a little bit, you can see over there, that's where the Boise State fan section is. There's some of the press seating, and there is Montlake right there. Johnny's probably going to know the exact name of that lake, but there's the area where the boats are. They're all tailgating. They're all coming in to enjoy the game. And obviously the action will be right here down on the field coming up shortly. So a lot to get to. And again, we want your predictions. We want your thoughts, your player of the game, all that good stuff. And we'll get to that on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show here at Husky Stadium. Again, a ton to get to. So excited for the season. So excited to be here talking Boise State football. We're going to have Mike Voral from the Seattle Times joining us to give the Seattle perspective, the Washington perspective. Cody Gogler is hopefully going to join us at the end of the show if he is able to get over here from the tailgate in time. We're looking forward to that. But again, we've got interviews with coaches, interviews with players, and all kinds of things to get to here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw it or not on, I guess it was on game day. Did you guys see this on game day? I'll go ahead and play it now. Robert Griffin III jumped into the lake, and we've got the footage of that. Here's Robert Griffin III. I guess this was on game day. Maybe it was a preview for the game. Travis Hawks was on the nearby boat where he did his jump, and this is the scene here just a short time ago outside the stadium.
Some people ride the wave, but other people make waves. And Michael Penix Jr. and the Washington Huskies made waves last year. Number one passing offense in the country. They finished 8th in the Heisman voting, and now they come back with a roster filled with NFL guys, or as I like to call them, Sunday guys with a championship mindset. You know, speaking of making waves, I'm so excited for the college football season to be back. Let's go ahead and start this bad boy with a splash.
There he is, Robert Griffin III, jumping into the lake off the boat. A la Pat McAfee on game day a year or two ago. So having fun. I saw him down there on the field. He was talking to some folks, and so I know I'm not sure if he has an extra change of clothes or not, but he actually swam over and got on the boat that Travis Hawks and company were on. So thank you to Travis Hawks for sending us that video. Again, a short time ago here at Husky Stadium. Just an incredible scene for those that haven't been here. You've got the lake right here, the boats literally tailgating, literally hanging out in the water, and then pulling up to dock and get out and come into the game. You've got almost 70,000 people expected here. Just a beautiful scene, a beautiful setting for college football. And again, looking forward to seeing this Boise State team. So many question marks, so many reasons for optimism, but couple question marks and reasons to worry a little bit as well. One of those areas, the offensive line, Cage Casey making the start at left tackle, played in 5 games last year, but obviously a huge assignment going up against some of the top pass rushers in the Pac-12 in the country for that matter on the other side. So Bronco Nation News, our first exclusive interview here earlier this week. Bronco Nation News, we had a chance to catch up, short interview with Cage Casey, the Boise State left tackle, as we continue on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Well, what's this opportunity like for you, man, getting a chance to start against UW on Saturday?
Oh, it's great, playing with a great O-line. All of them are my dogs, We've been building all summer. Played a little bit with them last year. Got my guy Roger on the right guard side. It's going to be super awesome to play with them on Saturday.
What do you think you've done to earn this spot? I mean, obviously last year, pretty rare to get the playing time you did as a true freshman, but to come in and now earn a starting spot, what was your goal? What did you do to earn this spot?
I'm just doing my daily 111. Just getting in the film room, getting with some of the guys, doing footwork. But really I'm just happy, the support group I got with the rest of the O-line, they're just all great guys that have been helping me get to the point I'm at right now.
Is it pretty surreal? I mean, thinking about 70,000 people and you're the starting left tackle against the number 10 team in the country?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but like I said, over the summer we've built that confidence. I've been playing against a great D-line here. I feel like I've been really prepped to play this Saturday.
The challenge, obviously, they've got some of the better pass rushers you're going to see all season right out of the gate. Just talk about the challenge there.
They're great pass rushers, but like I was saying, we got great pass rushers too, and I've just been taking reps every day in summer with these guys before we even got pads on, just working the footwork, working on my techniques, getting my hands right. I feel pretty confident going out there Saturday and playing some ball.
A lot of people thought, oh, Cade will just move over to left tackle, and that was kind of the thing. And then it's like, no, Cage Casey's staying at left tackle like he did. I mean, I'm sure you just want to play, but to be able to solidify that spot, and that's kind of the money spot, so to speak, on the line. How proud, I guess, of a feeling was it when you found out that you were going to be the starter?
It was very surreal. I had to call my mom, call my dad, call all my friends back home. I'm just like, this is an opportunity beyond anything I could even dream of as a redshirt freshman coming in this year, But I'm so excited to just take this spot, I'll work and to try to just be with the team and just earn the right to play this role.
You guys obviously have had to do a little bit of shuffle in the last couple of weeks, moving Garrett over and Roger stepping in. I mean, what to have you and Roger, two young guys, I mean, what's the benefit of having the three veterans there, I guess, to help you? But in terms of the crowd noise and the communication, I mean, what's going to be key on Saturday?
Communication's the key. Roger and I, we both got a little playing time. He started last year for one game and then got a few reps. I got a few reps here and there. And, just playing with these older guys who've been just playing in the college atmosphere for so long, being able to look right to Ben Dooley and just be like, hey, what are we doing? Just get that confidence from him is just really what helps me throughout. It was really what's going to help me throughout Saturday.
What excites you most about this offense going into the season?
Ooh. Like I said, everyone, we've just been working so hard to get together. We got a great running back room, great quarterback who can move. Our wide receivers are doing amazing. But really, the O-line, I'm just excited to play with the O-line. This is just I played a little bit last year, but now I get to really experience it. And so I'm just super excited to see what we can do this year.
What is just the feeling, I guess, like I said, just getting a chance to slay Goliath or whatever in an ABC afternoon game? Not many people giving you a chance. I mean, is this an opportunity, obviously, you dream for?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about this moment since I saw it on our schedule. It's going to be a great game. They're a great team, and we're also a great team, so we're going to be fighting throughout the whole day.
Is that a night? How long have you known this was the game coming up? End of last season or even before that? I mean.
No, I don't quite remember when
It's been a while.
But it's been a little bit. So we've just been fighting every day, working inching closer and closer to this day.
How many friends and family are you going to have up there?
I got quite a few. I got 6 or 7. I got 3 friends coming. I got my mom and dad. I got my grandma. Everyone's coming to this game. It's going to be awesome.
Well, best of luck to you, man.
Thank you.
There he is, Cage Casey, going to be starting at left tackle for your Boise State football team here in about 90 minutes from Husky Stadium. How you feeling about that offensive line? Roger Carrion getting the start at right guard. Kurt Blake asking what's up with Mason Randolph. We'll see if we see him on the sidelines or what the issue is with him, but you can put 2 and 2 together there. He started fall camp as the starting center. The videos show it, and then now he's not even on the depth chart, so you can put 2 and 2 together there, and that means that Garrett Curran is sliding over to center, and then you've got Roger Carrion, who made 1 career start, sliding over and making the start at right guard, or sliding in, I guess, to right guard. So question about the injury list for today. That doesn't come out till about 45 minutes prior to kickoff. So about 45 minutes prior to kickoff, unless that's changed this year, we'll be able, while we're on the air towards the end of the show, give you the last-minute injury updates and things like that. So don't have that yet. Nate says, my wish list, no injuries, fight for 60 minutes, put fear into the entire state of Washington, pick up a dub. Is that too much to ask for? The win might be, but some of the other stuff I think you can do. We'll see. I think this is going to be one heck of a game. I'm leaning a little more towards Boise State, at least having a chance to keep this thing competitive the more and more as we get closer to kickoff. But can they win the game? That's just a really tall task when you think about how big the stadium is, all the people that are here, the atmosphere, and going up against a top 10 team in the country. I mean, I think some people, maybe not you guys, but I think some people do underestimate just a bit how good this Washington passing attack and offense truly is. So it's going to be quite the challenge for a team that doesn't have, 3 or 4 players that are currently in NFL training camps right now. So you can see the scene below us. Again, we are in an auxiliary radio booth here up in the press box at Husky Stadium. We appreciate Jeff and everybody at the University of Washington Communications Department for helping us out and giving us a spot to broadcast from. So you can see the field. You can see the size of the stands here. It is a rather large stadium. They're expecting close to 70,000 here today for this one between Boise State and the University of Washington. Let's stay with the offensive line theme. And again, how you feeling? You worried about this offensive line? Do you feel okay about it? Do you feel good? I'm curious your thoughts on the offensive line. I think one of the key parts of this game. Is Taylon Green going to be able to have a little time to pass? Are they going to be able to open up some running lanes? I think what happens in the offensive line for Boise State is going to be huge when it comes to having a chance to win this game. So sticking with the offensive line coach of Boise State, Tim Keene. I had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week. So here's Boise State's offensive line coach one-on-one with Bronco Nation News about the challenge ahead for his group today.
Well, Coach, obviously a lot of talk about your group going into the opener. You got a couple youngsters in there. You're shuffling some things around. But how do you feel about the O-line heading into the opener on Saturday?
Always have to feel good. Regardless of who's starting, who the opponent is, always have to feel really good. And it's not a false positive. It's because our guys work so hard. And today's practice, those guys were doing everything possible to put themselves in position to be the most physical team. That's always our goal. How do we be the most physical team? And then the scoreboard will kind of hopefully take care of itself then. So those guys have earned the right to play at their best. And on Saturday, we'll kind of see where that puts us at the end of the game.
I know the same five that start fall camp or start this season never end up being the same five. You always have to deal with shuffling, moving guys around, and obviously you had to do that early in camp with Mason going down. But what do you like about Garrett moving over to center, and maybe just talk us through Roger stepping in and why it fits the way it does?
Well, Garrett has been a surprising addition, not just for what he can do physically. It's just how he's taken on to that center role. And if you're a football guy, you want to play center. Like, you want to be in command and call at the fronts and make all the calls, and everything runs around that guy. So he's done a great job handling all those non-physical aspects of the position and rallying the guys and making sure that the practices are crisp, making sure guys are getting to meetings a little bit earlier to watch a little extra film and making sure they're studying at night on their own. So that part of it, he's done an amazing, amazing job. And similar to Jake Stetz a couple years ago when Jake had to fill that role of center position, didn't miss a beat. Garrett's kind of done the same thing. He's even joked about it. He's like, maybe this thing sticks. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. So all he needs to do right now is start at left tackle. He started a game at every single position except for left tackle now, which is pretty unique.
So you're hoping you probably don't have to do it at this point.
I said, Garrett, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen this year. Maybe in a scrimmage we could get you that left tackle, but hopefully not in a game.
I wanted to ask about both the young guys, and I guess we'll stay with Roger then, who's the beneficiary, slides into that right guard spot. Saw him against UTEP last year. I mean, what did Roger do to earn the starting spot?
That's the interesting thing now with college football is we have two redshirt freshmen that are playing that have both Roger started a whole game, played a whole game, and Cage Casey's played in 4 games. So it's not like they've never played, they've never been in that environment. So hopefully they've learned a ton from those experiences. And I mean, Roger has grown a lot from that game. It seems like almost 5 years ago. It seems like Roger's matured a ton, has had a ton of experience. And he's a guy that's been hungry all offseason and working extremely hard and been extremely dedicated. And he's a classic example of preparation. He's prepared himself when opportunity was there. He was able to make the most of it and kind of slide in just because of his prep that he did all the way back in January.
A lot of people expected, Cade Beresford would just slide over to left tackle, and once John left, and obviously you guys feel highly of Cage, Casey, to keep him at left tackle. What was it about him, even going into camp, that you guys made that decision and kept him there, and he's held that starting spot, going into the season?
It's how many people do you want to shuffle? Let's get a little chemistry. Let's get those guys gelling and communicating. And so that was the big thing, is not having to move around too many pieces. We're already going to have 2 new guys in. Let's not move another piece of the puzzle and have Cade flip over to left tackle. And he's done a good job of kind of assuming the left tackle mentality, but playing right tackle. So he's been really awesome of not kind of batting an eye and saying yep, I am one of the leaders of the offense, and I'm going to make sure I do a good job whether it's right tackle or left tackle.
The opportunity for the line this year, you might have the most mobile quarterback in FBS, and I think you have 2 running backs who a lot of people think will play professionally. Just the responsibility of the men up front. I mean, holy smokes, you guys might, if this thing pops, you're going to put up a lot of yards on the ground.
Yeah, so it's awesome to have those type of guys because we always explosive plays start in the front. That's where explosive plays start. And everyone sees George and everyone sees Ash and everyone sees Taylor rip off a big 50-yard run. But that starts up front with our guys. So those guys take it extremely personal to get the run started. Let's get the play started. These guys are our tailbacks and TG are extremely talented. If we can get those guys to second level, they've shown the ability to make that first tackler miss, whether it's with speed or run them over. So they take a lot of pride in, like, let's get this thing started and make sure we can get these guys that much daylight. Because if they have that much daylight, they can make a big explosive play.
And
There's Tim Keene, the offensive line coach for Boise State. You see the setting here at I just unplugged my cord. That's not good. You see the setting here at Husky Stadium. This is Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Jordan Kaye going to join us down from the field momentarily. He is getting his camera and things set up again. Get your comments in. Get your questions in. Looks like some games are already going, obviously, and you see some fans starting to come in. Somebody asked about the uniforms for Boise State. We'll get a picture of that here in a minute. But Boise State is going with the all-white uniforms with the blue chrome face mask. So Boise State's out there right now, as you can see on the right side of the field. They're doing some early warm-ups and things, and so they're wearing the pants, but not the jerseys or helmets yet. But it is all white today for Boise State. By the way, I mentioned it earlier, but James Ferguson Reynolds, his parents made the trip all the way from Australia. They are here for the game today, and awesome to see. They're both got the flags draped over their back, the Australian flags, and they get to see their son punt the football in front of 70,000. Hopefully they don't see very much of him today, though. If you're a Boise State fan, you love James Ferguson Reynolds. You love that his parents made the trip. Pretty cool, but you'd be just happy to see them not need to use him on the field. They can watch him from the sidelines, which means Boise State's offense is moving the ball and scoring points. But I know a lot of players' parents made the trip, and pretty exciting for them as well to see everything that's going on here with Bronco Nation News and the game. And speaking of Bronco Nation News, we are excited to welcome a new sponsor on board, Ball Ventures Alquist, BVA, Tommy Alquist. We've been working to finalize this for a few weeks, and we finally have. And we're very appreciative of BVA and Topgolf. We're going to be doing some co-branding stuff with Topgolf. So if you haven't been out to the new Topgolf, make sure you get out there and check it out. We'll even be doing some live shows down at Topgolf, some live shows at BVA. And so everywhere you look, whether it's the Eagle View Landing or all the different areas around town, BVA is helping our community, helping get things done and helping expand and make Boise just a better place around the Treasure Valley. So thanks to Tommy Alquist, big Boise State supporter. Thanks to BVA. And you'll be hearing more about them in Topgolf here moving forward. Taco Bell, of course, TacoBellWorks.com. SON Management, the Nicolason family, we're very appreciative of them and what they've done for Bronco Nation News as well. And again, they're donating more than $300,000 to Boise State scholarships on the men's and women's basketball team over a 5-year period. So make sure you check out TacoBellWorks.com, and we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. We're going to go down to the field here in just a second. We are broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios in the press box at Husky Stadium. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Get into tequila season with Cutwater Spirits, and a perfect afternoon to have a Long Island or a pina colada, a mango margarita, or all of the above. So appreciate Cutwater Spirits and their support, and be on the lookout for a giveaway for the first home game at the James next week. We'll be giving away an item from Cutwater Spirits and Stein Distributing, so we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. Let's see if we can go down to the field here. We've got Jordan Kaye down on the field. Jordan, can you hear us down on the field down there?
You too.
Oh, Jordan's over there talking to folks. There he is. There he is. He's a busy man down there talking to folks, and so hopefully you were getting the big scoop down there. But give us the lowdown. Give us the lowdown. Give us the lowdown from the field, man. What's going on down there?
Warm-ups. It's going good. It seems like most of the offensive guys are on the field. Some of the defensive dudes are going in. There's, I think that's Jaden Version right there. There's some of the specialists running in.
Okay, your first we're teaching Jordan on the fly how to move the camera here. Just leave it in one spot or move it a little slower. We don't need to keep going back and forth. But you obviously saw the team get off the bus. You saw the buzz over there with the fans and Joel York from the Blue Collar Club. Looks like obviously a beautiful day. But just what's your overall thoughts as we sit here about 90 minutes till kickoff?
There's a ton of excitement, hype right now around this game. I mean, you can kind of feel it in the air, and I think sometimes for road games, the visiting fans want to get into the stadium earlier because they've never seen it before. And so, I mean, you're starting to see, Boise State fans trickling into Husky Stadium at the tailgates, taking pictures, running down, trying to give a high five to either people they know or guys they like. And so it's been so cool this last hour we've been here.
I mentioned Joel York and the Blue Collar Club obviously is down there, but that little setup they had with the band and the Bronco Athletic Association, it's, by the way, happy birthday to Dr. Trump. Today is Marlene Trump's birthday. They sang for her down there at the Bronco Athletic Association event, so the president of Boise State enjoying a birthday, and she told the crowd on the loudspeaker there nothing more she'd like for her birthday than a win today, so that would certainly be a nice present for her. But you mentioned the crowd, man. I'd say, I mean, they're going to be over 1,000, I think was the number I heard, but there's several hundred down there at that tailgate.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 1,000, 2,000 Boise State people. Oh, sorry. They, they had a pretty good allotment of tickets, but then you just think of there's so many guys from around this area, and they have high school friends, high school teammates, family friends, all that stuff who just bought tickets on their own because they couldn't get their player or whatever to get them enough tickets. I know Jalen Clark had to somehow ask like 25 different guys to give him his ticket, so he's got like 40 tickets. I think Cade Beresford, Jack Beresford, they've tried to get like 30 tickets, but at some point it's like friends and family are just buying their own. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 1,000, 2,000 fans repping the blue and orange, which might make a dent, might not. We'll have to see kind of how they're congregated.
I know we don't have the injury update yet. That usually comes about 45 minutes till kickoff, but it looked like we've seen most of the expected players out there. Obviously, Taylon Green and Halani and Genty. Any early sense there about just how guys are feeling and looking? And obviously, they're now in the locker room getting ready to get on the pads and come out for the official warm-up. But looks like business as usual. But I mean, any early word on anybody were last-second guys we're not expecting or anything?
No, I've seen everyone that I've expected to see, which is good. But man, I'll just say they seem confident. I guess you could probably say that before every game, but even talking to people who talk to the players, it's like there's a real sense from them that they can win this game, that they can really kind of shock a lot of people today. And you're seeing it in warm-ups, a lot of energy. I mean, I bet most of these dudes were up at 5, 6 a.m. This is kind of closer to what they do for practice. They practice at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and this is pretty close to that versus a night game. So yeah, a lot of people are excited and ready to go. You there?
Taylon Green obviously did an interview last night with RG3. We saw RG3 go in Jordan last night, earlier today into the boat. I think I was unmuted there for a second, so I apologize for that. But what do you – oh, it looks like we might have lost. Are you there, Jordan?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, you're there. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. My internet went out for a second. Sorry about that. I was talking about Robert Griffin III. We have a video of him. I'll show it in a second here of him jumping into the water off the boat. He's on the call today, obviously, and was down there, kind of a popular man. We saw some of the Boise State strength staff taking pictures with him on the sidelines. Did the interview with Taylon Green last night. I saw Jeremiah Dickey even go up and talk to him from their connection at Baylor. What do you make of RG3 here on the call today?
Yeah, I originally, when I saw the video and stuff, thought that that was set up by ESPN as kind of a way to, something to play during the game. No, it was set up by Boise State. They wanted, RG3 is probably one of the very few guys that Andy Avalos would allow to talk to his starting quarterback the night before the biggest game of the season. But there's a lot of parallels. I mean, I think Taylon Green was probably 7, 8, 9 years old when RG3 had his Heisman winning season at Baylor. He didn't live too far from Baylor, maybe just an hour or two. So, I mean, this is a guy that Taylon Green really respects. I guarantee that he was probably a little nervous for that interview, a little more nervous than when he talks to us. But that's one of those things that, man, if Boise State wins today, I would expect a very big rollout from Boise State's marketing creative team of playing that interview and really trying to show the parallels of like, hey, RG3 was another guy who a lot of people kind of criticized his arm for a little bit, thought he was just a run-first quarterback, real tall guys. And, I think you could start to see, people more talking about the similarities of Robert Griffin III and Caitlin Green if Boise State wins today.
Hey, we're going to check back in with you in a few minutes when the team comes out for warm-ups, but set up the interview with us, Jalen Clark. We're about to play the clip of you talking to Jalen Clark's mom, and there's a story you can read. So before we let you go for a few minutes, set us up with this clip from Jalen Clark's mom.
Yeah, she was so kind and letting me come to her home in Tacoma. And, it's always so great to talk to family members of these guys. I mean, we think of them sometimes as these just great figures who nothing really affects them, and they're playing on the field on Saturdays, and we don't know much more about them. But always to hear from the parents, to let them kind of tell the story. They know everything that this person has gone through since they came into the world. It's always kind of probably my favorite part of the job. And, just for her to be so gracious and letting me come, it was fantastic. And so, yeah, I tried to ask her, and, hey, they're from Seattle. Jalen Clark grew up a Washington fan. His mom is kind of a Washington fan before her son played for Boise State. And so it's going to kind of be a weird game for both them. I think they're going to have tons and tons of friends and family there, and they're pumped.
Hey, man, appreciate it. Stay down there for a little bit longer. We'll check back in once the team comes out for warm-ups. Appreciate you. Let's hear from Jalen Clark's mother talking earlier this week.
Give us the lowdown. Jalen Clark looks like he's finally going to be able to start. How excited are you?
I'm extremely excited. Like I understand why he hasn't started, which, is nice because he's been mentored by those people in front of him.
Yeah.
But it's, to see the passion come out now and how well he's done, whether it's football camp or fall camp or spring game, and, it coming to reality. I'm excited.
You're not too far from UW,
right?
I mean, what's your guys' connection? Like, did he grow up a little bit of a Washington fan?
Yes. Yeah, that was our team. We went to Pac-12 championship game at Levi Stadium several years ago, and that was fun. But I think it was always something where he wanted to go to school out of state. So
yeah,
not necessarily where he dreamed school, but that was his team. That was our team. It is still my team. Yeah. So.
How many friends and family are coming in to watch this one?
Yeah, good question. So we've been kind of just getting the confirmations over the last few days, and it's almost 30.
Wow.
But that's just tickets that he has. There's a lot of people that are buying tickets to the game that'll be there. So it'll be a huge crowd. I mean, we're going to be Team Jalen. You'll probably hear us. It's going to be loud.
Yeah.
But you'll hear us.
There's a lot of people, that saw Jalen kind of start to shine in the Frisco Bowl. For you, when you watch him, when he's effective, what is he doing so well?
I think it's the focus, and you have to play in the moment, and I get that. But for him, just because stuff that anytime he doesn't make a good play or a play gets made on him, it stays with him. And so he always wants the ball.
Yeah.
He's a ball hawk, and that helped when he played offense in high school and junior football, but he wants the ball on defense. And so he tries to affect the game in that way, but at the same time, he's definitely a team player. So he pumps up everyone around him. He gets so excited when other people make plays. It's I think that's the most excited thing about it. But at the same time, he's got his personal goals as well as team goals. So just waiting to watch him check those boxes.
Last thing, what's your score prediction?
Oh, come on. No, there's been so many, and I nope, not doing it.
Okay.
Okay. No, I think we score a good amount, actually. This one's hard. Okay. Time. 33-27 Boise.
Wow. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Well, there we go. We appreciate Jalen Clark's mother for speaking with us. And we are now joined by the beat writer of the Washington Huskies for the Seattle Times, Mike Voral. And we were talking off air. You covered Wyoming in the past, so you're very familiar with the Boise State program. And it's good to catch up with you, man. How's it going?
It's good.
Oh, hold on. I got to turn your mic up there. There we go.
There we go.
Now you're good. Yep.
Appreciate it. No, it's going well, and it's been here for a couple of years, but I've, like you said, covered Wyoming in 2013, 2014, so very familiar with the Boise program, and this should be an interesting game.
Let us know, man. Give us the lowdown on the Washington side. Obviously, a lot of hype in Boise about Penix Jr. and the Heisman campaign starting today. I mean, is he as good as advertised? And obviously, when he came back last December, I think I looked up December 4th, December 5th, he announced pretty early on that he was going to come back. That obviously changed the outlook for Washington this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a new Heisman campaign. It's just kind of a continuation of what they were doing, because this is a guy who finished 8th in the Heisman voting last year, had 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, led the nation in passing yards per game. This is an offense that just has so many weapons. When they talk about the wide receivers that they've got, the tight ends they've got. But last year, the sneaky thing was their protection was so solid and so consistent. Penix was sacked 5 times total in 13 games. So, when you give a guy like that kind of time, that kind of comfort in an offense he's been in for years at Indiana before coming to Washington, same offense, same system. There's just such a comfortability there. And then when you have the arm talent he has, it's a deadly combination.
Why is he only? I know it's his ability in the pocket to move around and things. Obviously, the offensive line has something to do with that. But how is a guy go through a whole season only get sacked 5 times?
I mean, when you look at him playing, and it's going to be the same thing today, they do so much in terms of checks and responsibility that he has to change things up. I think a lot of it just is his understanding of this offense, of where guys are coming from. They had a really, really good offensive line last year, and they had some really good pass protecting running backs. But it's a guy who is very comfortable, bleeding the play clock down to 1 second, a half a second, and continuing to move guys around. He out schemes you in his head. I think he snuffs out blitzes before they come. He's not the most mobile person in the world, but I think he just figures out, he snuffs out plays, and he understands this offense better than just about anybody on earth at this point.
You see Boise State down there warming up, coming out for some stretching and things on the right side of your screen. We're here at Husky Stadium, the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. BJ Rains joined by Mike Voral, the beat writer for the Seattle Times. You can check him out on Twitter and read his work as well at the Seattle Times online. What's the website for the What's the website?
SeattleTimes.com.
Oh, I was going to say that. It just seemed too obvious. But
yeah,
SeattleTimes.com. Get your pregame update on the Huskies side. Obviously, he's good, but you mentioned the receivers, 2,000-yard receivers that came back. Boise State, a little bit of inexperience at corner. I mean, that's an area that I know a lot of folks are looking at. Markel Reed is a 6th-year guy, but missed almost all of last year with an injury. Jalen Clark making his 2nd career start. We were just talking to his mom. He's a Tacoma guy. So that's one area that I know is a little concerning for Boise State, is maybe the corners against those receivers. What makes the receivers so good?
Yeah, I mean, they have a blend of different guys. Talk about Roma Dunze, big physical 6'3" guy who runs really well, really a freak athlete, and possibly a first-round pick. You have Jalen McMillan, who in the slot was just dominant last season, catches everything, and is really hard to bring down. Jalen Polk is another guy who came over from Texas Tech a couple of years ago and kind of is just this durable, tough leader, gritty type guy. But really, it's just a strength in numbers situation. We look at those wide receivers. They got a couple others that they love in terms of Jeremy Bernard, who just transferred from Michigan State, Denzel Boston, a redshirt freshman. They've got 2 tight ends that they trust a ton. There's just such a strength in numbers for this group that it's hard to pin down any one guy. So they'll beat you with quantity as well as quality.
What about the defense? I mean, there's a lot of talk about that offense, but I know Boise State was given a lot of respect to their defense. Some of the edge rushers, Boise State starting a redshirt freshman at left tackle. The defense, I think I know last year was the one area that maybe hurt them a little bit, but how are they feeling up here in Husky land about the defense?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting today, because this is a group that was pretty one-sided last year, did a pretty good job of stopping the run, was able to do that, and really philosophically put a ton of guys in the box, wanted to do that. And it's a program that had, a string of NFL DBs for years under Jimmy Lake, but that really dried up last year. They really struggled in secondary. A lot of that was injury-based. They had corners go down one after another, but they really rebuilt that secondary, brought in a transfer at corner in Jabbar Muhammad from Oklahoma State. Like you said, their strength they see is is being stout up front, stopping the run. They've got 2 elite pass rushers in Braylon Trice and Zion Tupuola-Fatui. Those guys are going to try to get after Taylon Green. But also, this is a defense that struggled to rein in more mobile quarterbacks last year. When you look at DTR at UCLA, had a heck of a game against them. Bo Nix at Oregon. They've struggled against some of those guys who can create outside the pocket. So that's going to be a really interesting test to see how they do against Taylon Green.
We heard the OC say, Ryan Grubb, he's got no love for Boise, obviously, when he was at Fresno. We did hear, Coach DeBoer very complimentary of Boise State, but a lot of connections, obviously, with Scott Huff and all the guys at Juice Brown and obviously Lee Marks. I mean, what's been the talk this week? Obviously, about a lot of familiarity on both sides here on the coaching staff.
Yeah, I don't think there's any real bulletin board material happening there. It's just a situation where those guys who've come from Fresno, as you know, had some heated matchups and played a bunch in Mountain West championship games here or there. So, I mean, Kalen DeBoer understands Boise. Ryan Grubb understands Boise. A couple of those guys played there. There's the Chris Peterson connection always. So like you said, you've got some players that come from the Washington area. So there is a situation where these two programs know each other in a lot of different ways, culturally, historically. They're not strangers. And there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of mutual respect, but we'll see how it plays out between those coaching staffs and players in a couple hours here.
I think it's 5 former Boise State players on the coaching staff for Washington, the 3 assistant coaches, and I think 2 GAs, Tyson Maeva, and then there was one other one that now it's blanking on who it was, but the 2 players are now as like analysts or GAs. You have the 3 full-time coaches. A lot of familiarity here, but 11-2 last year. I mean, it was a great year. They're coming in at number 10 this year. What is the overall feeling around the town, the program, just the excitement level and what, I know Pac-12 title, obviously, I'm sure they have hopes of a playoff appearance. What's kind of the feeling going into the season of what would make this season a success here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that all these guys came back. Michael Penix could have left. He came back. All those wide receivers I mentioned, a couple of them could have left and been early picks, came back. Their left tackles, specifically Troy Fatanu, their left tackle could have left, came back. Their edges, same thing. Those guys came back for a reason because they want to win a Pac-12 championship, potentially the last Pac-12 championship, and they want to go to the playoff. And the Pac-12 hasn't been to the playoffs since 2016, and that was Washington. And I think that group has not been scared to say those things. They have not been scared to say what their goals are, but at the same time, you can't do any of that without beating Boise State. So it's been towing that line. Washington does a word of the week inside their program every week, and the word of the week this week was today, because they don't want to be looking ahead at Michigan State in week 3 or down the line at Oregon or anything. So we'll see if they can get through that, if that's just empty talk or if that's something that they can embody here in an hour.
Well, I mean, it's a beautiful day. I know they said it was close to a sellout. I don't know if it's officially sold out yet, but it's going to be close. And a decent amount of Boise State fans, I think made the trip as well. So should be fun, man. We'll be reading you on Twitter, the Seattle Times. Mike Voral, we appreciate it, man. And we'll see you in the press box in a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, BJ.
Go read his stuff. Appreciate it, Mike Voral with the Seattle Times. Hey, thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union. We appreciate ICCU. You can check them out online, iccu.com. The best in mobile e-branch online banking. Check them out, Idaho Central Credit Union. Also, the Blue and Orange Store. We appreciate Travis Hawks for sending us back all the video footage from the boat. I mean, is there any doubt that Travis Hawks is riding into the stadium on a boat and tailgating and hanging out there and hanging out with RG3? I mean, no doubt if somebody in the Bronco Nation News family was going to do it, it was going to be our friend Travis Hawks, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. And again, if you're looking to make some wagering and you're in the Nevada area or Colorado or some of the states that have the mobile gambling, we recommend Circus Sports, our gambling sponsor at Bronco Nation News. Circus Sports, circusports.com. They've got $14 million in guaranteed prizes in their Survivor and football contest for the NFL. They have some great college wagering options as well. So check them out, Circus Sports. Next time you're in Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. And, of course, Ridley's Family Markets, official grocery store, Bronco Nation News. Check them out next time you're needing a local grocer, whether it's up there in McCall or Cuna, Middleton. They got 13 locations across the state of Idaho. Download their app. I know Mark Ridley and company, their family, they'll be here. Big Boise State fans. I'm sure they're going to be at the game today. So appreciate Ridley's Family Markets. Shop Ridley's.com. We are up here in the press box. Appreciate everybody for checking us out. We want your score predictions. This is Lithia, Florida Boise pregame show. We've got a $25 gift card to the James Kitchen and Bar that we are giving away to whoever gets the closest score prediction for this game today. So we'll figure out if we're going to do total point difference or closer points. I think if there's a tiebreaker, we'll say who is closer on the Boise State point total side. But give us your score predictions. Let us know your thoughts. Like this page, share this page, tell all your friends. And we appreciate everybody for checking us out on the Bronco Nation News at Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Cody Gogler is calling me right now, so I think that's a good sign that we're going to get him on the show. We are going to get Cody on to talk about touch from the administration standpoint, how they're feeling about this game, the excitement level. Again, Boise State in the locker room right now, getting on the pads, getting ready to come out for this one. Going to be a lot of fun here in just a short time. Boise State and Washington. By the way, it's 24-21 Buffs. Somebody says here, Scott Matlock, by the way, yes, Scott Matlock did make the trip, and he is right. He's on the sideline. You'll be seeing Scott Matlock firing up his crew today. He had the weekend off. Where would he rather go but to come hang out with his former players? I mentioned the scene, and again, get your score predictions in. Let's see what we got. How are we feeling about Boise State? We think we can win this game. If you're a Boise State fan, let me know. Get your score predictions in. Whoever is closest gets a $25 gift card to the James. You have to post it to the YouTube chat, though, the BNN YouTube chat there, and we will get to those in a short time. I mentioned the scene here. If you're just joining us, they got the boats out on the lake. You got all kinds of boats, people tailgating, hanging out, and Travis Hawks, of course, is out there in one of these boats. He sent us this footage. So just a unbelievable area, and look how cool the setting is there. Just an awesome setting for football, and that you can literally pull a boat right up to the stadium and go on in and watch the game. So awesome to have the band here as well. The band is here, the Blue Thunder Marching Band. And a lot of people are fired up, a lot of fans. I can still see over there on the right side. I'll see if I can raise this up a little bit for our footage here. But if you see, this is a live look. And down there at the bottom, there's all the boats, by the way. Look, there's hundreds of boats over there to the right hanging out here. And then if you look down, there's the Boise State tailgating area right there off to the side of the press box here is on the bottom. But you can see all the orange, a lot of orange. And again, look at that setting for college football. Does it really get much better than that? I don't know if it does. So super excited to be here for Bronco Nation News. We got the comments coming in. We got the score predictions coming in. Give us your score prediction, and whoever, it's easy. Just type in your score prediction, and whoever is the closest gets a $25 gift card to the James Kitchen and Bar, and that'll be coming up here in just a little bit. The defensive line, also another area that we're looking at, the defensive line. I talked to Eric Chenander, the defensive line coach. That's another area of concern for Boise State. I think that defensive line getting some penetration on Penix Jr. Here's Eric Chenander. While you're getting your score predictions in there, let's hear from Eric Chenander, Boise State's defensive line coach.
Eric, how are you feeling about your group, defensive line, heading into Saturday?
Yeah, like we said before, I mean, a young group, kind of not by age but by experience level. So there's going to be a quick learning curve for those guys, but they've worked really hard in the fall camp and in the past couple of weeks as we've got prepared for Washington. So I like where their mental space is at. I like their physicalness, and it'll be fun to see these guys under the bright lights for the first time.
Andy's really gone out of the way in the first couple of scrimmages to point to the defensive line as a position that he's really, I said, has stood out and has, significantly improved. I mean, are you guys on track to where you want to be, from when your goals were when camp started?
Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever be where you want to be, but I think they've done a really nice job. They're very coachable young men. They have great effort, great attitude, and they're really progressing to where we want them to be. Now, we're not there yet, but they're getting closer.
What about the pass rush? I know Jabril's involved in that, obviously, but just getting pressure in the backfield is going to be a key on Saturday. How do you feel you guys did fall camp getting some pass rush?
Yeah, I thought that was one area where the whole group really improved. The edge guys really rushed the passer nicely in that first fall camp. Those scrimmages into the practice sessions, and those interior guys got much better from the time we started till now. So once again, is there room for improvement? Absolutely. We still got a ways to go, but I thought that those guys did a nice job of improving that area of their game.
How big of a? I know it's an obvious answer, but how big of a key is that to limit their offense, to get get in the backfield a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think Mr. Penix got sacked 3 times maybe last year and 6 times total. So that'll be huge. If we can get in the backfield, cause some disruption, get him off his spot, get a couple sacks. That would be a huge piece of this game. We all know it's an explosive offense, so disruption, our part of disrupting the pass game will be huge.
So you've coached at Husky Stadium, 70,000. Maybe it's a little different for the defense than, what the offense is going to be facing. But just your thoughts on the season opener and the atmosphere and Saturday afternoon on ABC and getting a chance to kick off the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a different environment with a lot of uncontrollable things, right? But we got to control what we can control. But this is why you sign up. This is why you play college football, to get in an environment like this against a top-ranked opponent on national television, with the crowd rocking the way it's going to be. So I think this is going to be a great experience for our guys, great experience for the coaches. This is why we do it.
Who are a couple of guys that really impressed you from your group going in, and going to have huge roles here, obviously, going into the year?
Yeah, I think the older guys experience-wise and with the program, Mike Callahan, Herb Gums, Braxton Feely have done a really, really nice job working through camp, kind of rotating in and out of the first group, sub-packages, those types of things. And then coming in right behind those guys, Max Steege and Sheldon Newton have done a really, really good job too. So I look to get all those guys in the football game, depending on rep-wise and what packages Coach Danielson puts us in. That'll kind of determine some of their reps, but those guys are all going to get some playing time in the game.
How deep can this rotation go where you're still going to be comfortable out there?
Yeah, I think you can go 5 or 6. I've done it before where it's a 3 or 4 man deal. I've done it when it's 6 or 7. So just, to us, the guys that are able to play in the football game, the fresher we can keep them, the better. So if they've shown the ability to handle what we're trying to get done on defense, both physically and mentally, they deserve some reps in the football game, whether that's 5 to 10 or that's a 40-rep deal. But those guys got to get in there and got to get us some fresh bodies.
And you plan on it, you could rotate based on the package you want, or obviously if a guy needs a breather, that's how the rotations are going to go, kind of?
Yep. So we can rotate guys through right now, and you're talking about some dual train guys. We did a nice job, I think, as a coaching staff, dual training a lot of players on defense. So those interior guys can play defensive tackle and nose, so we can roll those guys through pretty good. And then the sub packages, if 2 guys are on in our base package and we want to go to a sub package, we can swap 1 out for 2 and get it rolling. So I think we've practiced that quite a bit.
Great defenses can get to the quarterback with 4. You know this, Coach. I mean, what's the challenges up there in Seattle that you guys are going to be able to put pressure on this guy with 4?
Yeah, I think the challenges are a quarterback that gets the ball out quick and makes really good reads in the secondary, 2 offensive tackles that are very experienced, very good football players, and then the interior guys are going to be newer. There's a little film on them, but not much. So the element of unknown with those guys is going to be the challenge to get home with 4. But like you said, if we can get home with 4, coverage becomes a lot easier. And then mixing up some pressure and some max coverage, I think, is going to be helpful to us, so they don't get a beat on what we're doing.
I mean, I'm sure every position will say they're the key to winning the game on Saturday, but it would seem like up front, both lines, and especially on the defensive line, being able to get some pressure, being able to limit the running game. I mean, do you feel like if you guys, the defensive line, you guys could potentially have a big impact, in this ball game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think every great football team that's ever been has got a great offensive line and a great defensive line. So I think controlling the line of scrimmage is always a high emphasis, especially, with Coach Avalos being our head coach. He's put a very high emphasis on controlling that line of scrimmage. But I think if you're going to be a championship program, those 2 units have to grow and they have to be really good.
Final one, Coach. I mean, just you mentioned some guys that, Mike Callahan and some of these guys maybe haven't had huge roles before this year. Hassanine on the edge. I mean, some different guys. I mean, how excited, Braxton Feely, do you see? How motivated, excited, ready to go are these guys that are stepping into bigger roles here?
I think they're really excited, just because it's kind of their turn. Number 1, and number 2, like we talked about, the environment that they're going to get to play really some of their first games in. So it's going to be an awesome deal for those guys. They've prepared like they should. They're ready to go, and I think they're going to have fun out there.
Well, there he is, Eric Chenander, Boise State's defensive line coach. We are about 15 minutes away from being able to release the injury information. During that interview, I did get the injury information, and I will just say there is 1, maybe 2 guys that were expected to be somewhat contributors, but I don't see any starters or big things that are going to be out. We'll tell you in 15 minutes who it is, but somebody was asking. I just want to throw it out there. We will have the injury info. ABC has enacted the 5-minute slide. Just got word that it will be 12:41 Pacific time is now the start time, 12:41. So Fresno State driving again, down 3. let's see what else we got. And then again, we'll have the injury information in about 15 minutes, but I don't think it's anything to based on what I've seen on the field, I wouldn't be too worried about any key players being out or anything, but we'll have that in about 15 minutes. Cody Gogler is going to join us shortly as well. We got a lot of score predictions coming in. We appreciate that. Again, you can see the live scene. Look at all those boats over on the far right of the screen just hanging out. This is an unbelievable setting for college football, and you got people coming in on boats, tailgating, hanging out. A lot of Boise State fans in orange, by the way. If we start to pan the camera here and you start to see what's going on, you see a lot of Boise State fans in orange. And down on the field, you can see Boise State has taken the field. They are wearing the white uniforms, and they are ready to go. We're going to check in with Jordan Kaye, who is down on the field just here and just momentarily. He is setting up again for us to get some footage. Jordan just loves me right now. I know he just loves doing all these reports from the field and hanging out down there, and we appreciate him for once again being down there and helping us with some of the live reporting for this game. Jordan is down there on the field. We will go ahead and bring Jordan in now, and there he is. How are we doing, Jordan?
Great. Hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry. He wants to get up here and eat. I haven't seen what's back there yet, but give us, Jordan, one final report from the field. We see the kickers out here now warming up. What are some of your keys, man? What should fans be looking for in this game if Boise State, especially early on, if Boise State's going to have a chance to hang and maybe even win this game?
I think they need to have a stop on one of the first two drives. Just show that they are not going to be pushed around early. That's going to be huge. I think the other thing is on offense, they've got to establish the run early. I mean, that is how they're going to win this game. Controlling the clock, running the ball, making sure Washington's offense is not on the field. That's huge. I think that's what I'm looking for in the first quarter.
What else in terms of Boise State's defense and trying to limit if they can and get in the backfield, get some pressure? I said they have to have multiple turnovers to have a chance to win this game. But how are you feeling about Boise State's defense heading into this? Why don't you slide over and get on camera, man? We can see you standing there. How are you feeling about Boise State's defense in this one? There he is. Yeah, wow. We see you.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot to prove, man. I think Michael Penix is really good. I think those receivers are the best in the country. I'm a little nervous with Boise State's defense. I'm not going to lie. I'm not counting them out, but, I mean, you're right. They're going to have to force a turnover, probably two. They're going to have to put pressure on Michael Penix, and these are unknowns. We haven't seen Boise State's defense do that yet. So, yeah, I mean, it's scary. I think Michael Penix is going to put up almost 40 points on this defense. It's just a matter of, hey, maybe do they have a red zone stop? Do they have a turnover? Then they change the game, and all of a sudden puts their offense, gives them a chance to win. So that's what I'm seeing.
What's in terms of your prediction? I don't think you quite think Boise State can win this, but I do expect you think they're going to hang around, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure. I think this is going to be a game late, but it's like the USC San Jose State game. When teams have more talent, they probably usually come away in the end, especially high-flying offenses. Boise State, I think, can hang around for a little bit, but at some point, I think Washington's receivers, their offense is just going to pull away.
All right, before we hear from Harry Beresford, set up this one. You did it with Jalen Clark's mom, but we had the chance to talk to Harry Beresford. We're going to play that interview here shortly. Set that one up for our viewers.
We were trying to get some extra footage for you guys for the pregame show, and I was just sitting at a coffee shop on Thursday afternoon and texted Harry and said, hey, I'm Jordan. I work for Bronco Nation News. We'd love to get an interview. I was like, I'm only 15 minutes away from you. I can do it today. And he's like, come on over right now. I'm not doing anything. And so he gave me a tour of his house, his incredible garage. He had some weightlifting set up, just a magnificent house. Had a basketball court, hot tub. It was sweet. He said he was welcoming a bunch of people over last night for some paella, which I'm sure was delicious. And so I can't thank him enough either for letting me come and hang out.
What's this like for him before we play the clip here, being a former Bronco living up in Seattle and having two kids now back on Boise State's team? This has to be pretty fun for him.
This is like a dream for him. Being able to share this with his parents too, Kate and Jack's grandparents, and he's trying to get to as many games as he can. His daughter is actually a women's college basketball player at College of Idaho. So he's going to be making the flight to Boise probably a couple dozen times this year, and he loves it. I think that's kind of the theme from a lot of these parents. And you know, BJ, you were watching Game Changer. Like, there's just nothing better than, you know, watching your kid. I don't know what that's like, but sounds cool.
Yeah, my son Naismith had a big double in his game this morning, and I was able to kind of see the clip of that. So, sad I'm missing my kid's game, but we're heading back tonight, and we'll see some games tomorrow. Jordan, come on up here, and we'll see you in the press box shortly. Nice work down there, and we're going to hear from Harry. Go ahead.
Look at the Boise State fans. I mean, there is more blue and orange right now, and at least on the Boise State side than there is Washington fans. So
keep that clip on there for a second while I finish talking. But, that is pretty impressive on that side. The other side has a ton as well. And I'm looking outside the stadium, Jordan. I can still see a couple hundred at that tailgate party as well. So a lot of Boise State fans here are going to be excited. One of those fans, Harry Beresford. Let's hear him and Jordan talking yesterday afternoon.
All right, Harry, we saw your photo the other day wearing your Boise State stuff all around Seattle. What has this week been like?
Mostly stressful, just because I live completely vicariously through what my kids are doing, and so that's the biggest thing. But then just the added love I'm getting from the community, putting my banners up or my flags up and my all that stuff, and it's been fun actually. I more exaggerated what I put online, but but I really did. I got a couple of pretty good gestures, and I had one guy actually roll down his window next to me and had me roll down my window. He gave me the dubs, and then he gave me the big middle finger, and I went, he's probably 65 years old. I went, wow. I'm not going to tell you what I said back, but I'm just going to leave it at that. So
people know that Boise State Washington is this week.
There's a buzz around here. I mean, everybody. Well, first of all, you're in Seattle, so everybody's buzzing about the Huskies right now. I mean, what's there not to buzz about? They're ranked number 10.
Yeah.
Penix can throw the garbage out of the ball. They've got some weapons out there, but as usual, I'm sure people are nervous because we've got weapons too.
Yeah.
So and I'm excited. I mean, all I can say is from what I've seen, I think it's gonna be a heck of a game.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Your Cade is going into his final collegiate season. Mm-hmm. Jackson in the tight end room after a couple of years.
Yeah.
How excited are you for this year to watch your boys play?
This one, I'm going to soak in every single one, but this one just being Cade's last year, it's kind of like, that I'm really going to soak that in. I mean, and I'll do it the same for my kids. Like I'm going to give you the same spiel about Jack or my daughter playing basketball, but right now I know this is his last collegiate season, no matter what, whether it's, just the bottom line is I'm excited for him. I think I told you this earlier. My main concern, I love wins and all that kind of stuff, but my main concern is being healthy and being able to last the season and just go out and give it his all. And I feel like he's in a good spot to do that.
He's got probably his toughest test of college coming up with those two edges that Washington's got.
Yeah.
How much are you going to be watching that? And, have you kind of looked at those guys and kind of looking at how he might try and stop them?
I've already watched it. I'm watching film myself. Not anything that, these guys have in the film room, but, you can find stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can see their little excerpts. You can, watch old games and things like that. I've watched a whole lot. I mean, they're good. They get off the ball quick. They're strong. I mean, it ain't fun to have somebody, get a 5-yard run on you at 255 pounds and be able to move like those guys. But I do think Cade's twitchy enough. I think Cage is twitchy enough. I think all the O-line is twitchy enough that we can do some good things up there. So, yeah.
You were at Boise State once upon a time.
Yeah, I wasn't twitchy like that.
Fair.
More like flat-footed.
Yeah. This seems like the spot that Boise State is made for.
Yeah.
The underdog going into a hostile environment with the chance to kind of be the giant slayer a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, just as an alum, is this do you kind of feel that of okay, historically, this is where we've thrived as Boise State?
I think so. I mean, I think I mean, I know these guys are up for it. I just know it. I can tell because, I mean, it's funny. Cade being my oldest, you know, we don't talk every day on the phone like we used to and things like that. He does his thing and we leave him alone because I know he's focused, but it's extra focused this week. Like, it's quick texts. It's very minimal because I can just see how dialed in he is. And if he's that way, the other guys are that way. I mean, they are so locked. And, I mean, Andy prepares these guys in the best way possible. And yeah, I think we can shock them. We just gotta we kind of need to use last year's game one as motivation on how to come out the right way.
Yeah.
And I know we learned from that. I know most of the guys, I mean, we got a veteran lineup there. We got a lot of veterans coming back that are going to learn from that. They're going to talk about their experience. But yeah, I mean, we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I firmly believe that. I mean, you go back in time, we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited for these guys. They put in the work in the off season. I feel like they're healthy, ready to go. And yeah, I mean, anything can happen on a Saturday.
Anything can happen on a Saturday. That's right. We bring in our man, Cody Gogler, Senior Associate Athletic Director, External Affairs. I hope I got the title right there, Cody. But we're excited to have you. We appreciate you for coming on for a couple minutes here in the press box. You just left the tailgate area down there. You were telling me maybe 4,000 or 5,000 Boise State fans are going to be here. I mean, we can see you told people to wear orange, and it's sticking out in the stadium here, man. We're about an hour from kickoff here, man. It's getting fun.
Here we are again, man. Excited. There's a ton of orange in the parking lot. We had a huge tailgate that started at 9:30 local time here. We had the Blue Thunder marching band. They're getting everybody fired up. When you look in the parking lots and our allotment and what we saw and what University of Washington is seeing, we're thinking we're going to have anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 Broncos here, which is huge. Big game for us. Great opportunity, and certainly looking forward to locking in on this and getting excited about what Coach Avalos and our crew can take care of today.
No, I don't know about for you, man, but I was up at 5:30 this morning, couldn't sleep, and turned on game day bright and early and was ready to go. And I this is work for me, but it's fun as well. I can't imagine for you and Jeremiah and the staff and just the coaches and players and everybody. I mean, what was the feeling like, at breakfast and coming over to the stadium today? I know it's been a long off season. I think you had the exact count of days when you were speaking to the crowd down there, 200 and something days, but it's nothing like waking up on a game day, man.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. You even on our side from an administrative standpoint, you dream about days like today. This is certainly not our only why. Our why is centered around serving our student athletes and our constituency, but there's a little bit of that competitor that's still in you, and you want to get out there. You want to put your best show on for Bronco Nation, and I think so. So as far as Jeremiah, I see him around he's walking around in his suit, saying hello to everybody. We shared a few moments together this morning. Obviously, really pumped up, and no matter how many years you do this, a day like today is just such a special moment. It never gets old, and if you're nervous, obviously that's a good thing, and we're nervously excited and pumped up.
I'm not sure I can pull off the T-shirt with the sport coat look. I may have to try that at some point this season, but I do. But it's a little warm for a tie.
Well, there's a story. I did not intend to wear this, so Bronco Nation, at least I'm transparent and honest. I worked out in this shirt this morning, and after my workout, I realized that I did not bring any additional clothes with me for game day. So I went and found my sport coat in my suitcase and tried to put something together. So hopefully I don't get made fun of too much today. I feel good though, ready for the game.
What in terms of you guys came up yesterday? We saw the footage. You guys went over to the Seattle Seahawks Stadium, Lumen Field. They have a nice area down here as well. I know you guys are ramping forward on that north end zone project, and you're trying to get as much research as you can as you put the design together.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. We got up here a day early. We have our construction advanced team, which is comprised of Anderson Construction, OpSys Engineering, and HOK Architectural Design. We came up, and we're going to do this probably 4 or 5 different places throughout the fall, where we can go, do some comparison with our North End Zone project and what some other universities are doing. So we took a look at not just university, but professionally. We took a look at the Seahawks yesterday. We visited the Alaska Airlines Field end zone suites. We've got a couple other visits in Utah and Arizona this fall. Just really as we start locking in on that design process, which could take up to 9 months. you want to make sure you have a feel for what others are doing. And so it was a good visit, took a lot away from it, and excited to get back to the drawing board and start working on our facility.
And that's we talked to Jeremiah about that on Thursday, and obviously you guys are moving forward on that. You got the approval to increase the the money for the planning purpose, I guess, to fly you guys around the country to see all these new spots. But that's just going to be a game changer. You come to some of these places and you see what this one looks like here with the seating, and I know it's obviously they're all going to be different, but the closing that end zone, to have the suites, I know will be a big part. But you guys, I know there's some parts for all student athletes you're excited about with the training table and some of the academic things you guys are going to be able to do. And Jeremiah said you guys are still hopefully on pace for 2025. I mean, that Oregon home game could debut that. I mean, I know a lot of work still has to be done, but the fact that it's starting to become more realistic here, it's got to be exciting for you guys.
Yeah, we had our construction advance team at our donor event last night. That was important to us, that our donors could, see and feel in real time that we're actually making progress. Our team is with us on the trip, and certainly ambitious goal to kick off in 25. That's the plan. We got a lot of work to do, but we think we're surrounded by a bunch of great people in Bronco Nation. We're gonna make sure that as we advance through this process, we're very transparent with updated timelines, and we appreciate everyone's patience as this next step of the actual design is going to take some time. So as we go throughout the fall and the early part of the winter, we'll be back in touch on where we feel like we're tracking towards that September of 25 date.
Couple of final things for Cody Gogler with the Boise State senior athletic director. And Cody, we appreciate your time. But tell us, we saw some of the announcements about the game day experience. Obviously, this time next week, we'll be getting ready to enter Albertson Stadium for what should be a memorable afternoon as well. And so we know we have the scoreboard. Somebody actually asked, by the way, will the logo on the back of the scoreboard be ready by Saturday?
Something that we're working through. Obviously, this is a massive project, a lot of people involved, a lot of different manufacturing parts. That's our goal. And obviously coming down to the last minute here, we feel confident though, as we navigate football season, that, what we've promised Bronco Nation will be in play, but we'll see how much progress we can make over these next 7 days. But
it's close.
Yeah, we're close.
Okay.
It's just a lot of moving parts, as you can imagine, with as big of a project like that. And we're excited for game day. We made an announcement yesterday that we're going to add some really advanced technology into our checkout kiosks that are grab-and-go stations. They're called mashkins. If you can imagine grabbing a few items, placing them on a countertop, within 1 second, all of those items are going to be tallied up, and you'll have a total price, and then you can check out and move on. So you're starting to see a lot of professional venues add those mashkins. We're going to add them in 3 locations, 6 total. That'll be a big upgrade for us for concessions this year. Next week, we're going to actually announce our concessions and beverage lineup. And then in addition to that, we're hopeful that we get to do it for the first time tonight. We've got the blue lights. We've got the tradition that lighted up blue. So we're pumped. We know it's a 5:00 game next week, so we're not sure how much Bronco Nation will truly feel in the Central Florida game. But as we progress throughout the fall, we've done a ton of testing, and I'm telling you, get ready. It's going to be quite the show.
Yeah, then you got, unfortunately, the 10 a.m. game, I guess, the following week. But once you get into just giving you guys plenty of time to practice and have it ready to go. But final thing, Cody, just we mentioned kind of just the excitement level. But for this season, for year 3 of what Andy's building here, and just we all see the conference realignment things and everything going on. I mean, just to have football to play, and just to hopefully for Boise State, get back to a Mountain West championship this year. What's just the outlook for the season? And obviously it's an exciting day.
Yeah, Jeremiah's 3rd year, Andy's 3rd year. There's alignment there. You can see Andy's culture in full swing and in full motion. Right now it's one game process mentality. You're not going to make or break your season in one day, but right now you're just focused on these next 3.5 hours. And, I think for us, we're certainly confident that what we've put together in the off season, over 40 new student athletes on our roster, a lot of new moving parts, as you can imagine. But when all that comes down to it and we kick off today, these are Broncos, and there's a culture, there's a standard, there's a commitment to the tradition. And so, how we bleed blue and how we're going to come out today and put our best foot forward for Boise State. We're excited to see that happen, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it.
Well, Cody, we appreciate your time, man. Best of luck to the team and to you guys today, not only today, but this season, and just with everything at the home games. I know that's a lot of work you guys put in behind the scenes. So enjoy the game today, and looking forward to it, man. And we can't wait for next Saturday as well. UCF, it's going to be a fun one. How are ticket sales pushing on that?
Good. Yeah, I mean, obviously a high demand game, and we'll usually see a lot of activity after today between now and next Thursday. Student tickets you can start pulling those on Tuesday. So we expect a full sellout for our students. And I appreciate you allowing me to come on. I know we're getting close to game time. I see there's quite a few people that are part of our Bronco Nation that are watching. Bronco Nation, we love you. buckle up, get ready for a great day. We can't wait to see you next week, and let's go Broncos.
Yeah, a lot of love, man. Anytime you come on, I don't know why the fans love you get more positive comments. I don't know if we just got more ladies that turn on the show at that point or what, but excited.
My wife's watching.
Appreciate it as always, man.
Right,
Thanks,
you,
Cody.
Right.
There he is. Appreciate Cody Gogler for coming by and joining us here on the Bronco Nation News, Lithia, Florida, Boise pregame show. Hey, if you need business insurance, check out our friends at United Commercial Insurance. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. Check them out at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. And let's see who else we need to thank here. How about Boise Dentistry Co.? BoiseDentistryCo.com. They've got locations all across the Treasure Valley, 5 of them to be exact. And by the way, we're 45 seconds away from being able to tell you the injury information here, so stick with us. BoiseDentistryCo.com, full family dentistry. Check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. You need a job? How about Transportation Compliance Service? They can help you get into the trucking industry every step of the way, all the permits, everything you need. Transportation Compliance Service can help you out. So check them out, Transportation Compliance Service at transcompservice.com. You need some healthy eating? Check out Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Check them out right there on Eagle Road at U-Stick and Eagle Road. Healthy meal prep, steak, chicken, shrimp. They got 10,000 different combinations, but it's all made right there for you, and it's not like prepackaged or pre-made. It's all fresh, it's healthy, and not a better spot. 2 minutes in the microwave, and you're ready to go at leanfeast.com. We are 45 minutes from game time as we bring you back here full screen. I can, let's see what we got going on here. Just sent out the tweet, and we can let you know that there are 3 players out today for Boise State. Cortez Hogans, a defensive end, Breezy Dubar, a running back, and Mason Randolph, the center. We can now officially confirm Mason Randolph has an injury. That's why he's not on the 2-deep. So those 3 players did not make the trip. Mason Randolph, the center, Cortez Hogans, the defensive end, and Breezy Dubar, the running back. So none of those players were expected to start. I guess we knew Randolph, he would have been a starter if he hadn't gotten hurt. But in terms of today, we already knew that Mason Randolph was out. Breezy Dubar still trying to figure out what his role was going to be. It sounded like he was going to have a role, but he will not play today in this game. We don't have any more information other than that. And then Cortez Hogans, he was listed on the depth chart as an or with in terms of the backup at the edge position there to Ahmed Hassanin. So we'll see. That obviously is a loss. He was a guy that was out early in the season last year and came back in later in the season and did some things. And we just talked to Cortez Hogans like last week. So it must not have been a really key injury, or we would have not expected to talk to him if they already knew he was out. So this must have been something that popped up late. So again, no Breezy Dubar. And again, he's the 3rd, 4th, 5th string running back at this point. They still have Genty and Halani, who are going to get 95% of the carries. You've got Tyler Crow as a serviceable guy, as a third, for a carry or 2 here and there. So I don't think in this game you're necessarily losing a ton with Breezy Dubar being out. But if that's a long-term injury, that certainly could be something that is a little concerning moving forward. But that defensive line, again, we talked about the defensive line, certainly something that is going to be something that Boise State has some concerns about moving forward. Herbert Gums, the Boise State defensive tackle, had a chance to catch up. We're rolling along in the Lithia, Florida, Boise pregame show. Here's Herbert Gums, the Boise State defensive tackle, talking earlier this week with Bronco Nation News about the challenge facing them here at Husky Stadium.
What's it feeling like, 48 hours away from kickoff?
It feels good. I mean, I'm ready to get at it. I'm ready to go. A lot of guys on the D-line ready to go. Show them that we ready, and we just ready for the season.
You hear the talk and read social media, whatever, whether it be from fans, from reporters, whoever, like you lose Scott Matlock, you lost some guys on the D-line, and there's a little bit of question about your group. How eager are you guys to prove that you guys can keep that standard there for the D-line?
Maybe hungry. The standard is the standard. We lost a couple of guys. We got a pretty young group, but the standard is the standard.
How eager are you kind of step into maybe a bigger role and be a leader on that D-line and maybe whether it be from leadership, from production, I mean, just to have a bigger role, how excited and ready are you for that?
I'm really excited to step up with the big role, teach these guys the standard, just lead them the right way, and just build chemistry and stuff like that.
How are you a better player since we last saw you last year?
I'm much better. Feel more healthier. Lost a little weight. watch a little film and see the bad things I did from last season and turn it to good, but I feel good.
This defense as a whole, there was so much talk in the offseason about who you guys lost and not as much on who's coming back. But, I mean, I mentioned the D-line, but in general, this defense, how eager are you guys to show that you guys can keep that standard rolling?
We're really eager. We hungry. Like we come in, put in the work. We keep it at a standard. Just put in the work, take it day by day, and play by play, and that's it.
Who's a guy or two on the defensive line that maybe isn't getting a lot of pub or talk that come Saturday fans are going to be knowing all about?
Sheldon Newton, like he's explosive. Like I don't feel like nobody can block him. Like he just once he get his two foot in and get out the line, he's explosive.
Think about growing up playing Pee Wee football, high school football. I mean, and now 70,000 on Saturday afternoon kickoff on ABC. And I see it just counting down the seconds here. But just what's that feeling like when you think of your football career and to play a top 10 team and a Heisman candidate, a quarterback? I mean, I would assume this is kind of something you've always dreamed of.
Yeah, it's a dream, big dream. It's a good experience to have. A lot of guys ready to go. I mean, I'm ready to go. I just can't wait.
What is the key in terms of slowing down that offense?
We just got to go through the O-line first, find a way to get to Penix, and that's it.
How big is getting pressure, whether it's on the interior, on the edge guys? I mean, he only got sacked a couple times last year. I mean, how much do you guys need to try to get some pressure back there?
We need a good amount of pressure. The offensive line is extremely good. NFL guys, so we just got to get through the O-line and then get to Penix.
How do you feel you did in spring and summer and fall camp? I mean, I know last year at times was a little struggle getting some pressure. Do you guys have you been getting more pressure in fall camp?
Yeah, we got more pressure. We practice more pass rushing. We got more pressures on the defense and stuff like that. But yeah.
And final thing, I guess, just kind of mentioned, but just a new season, a new opportunity. This team has big goals. I mean, how after all the talk and practice and all that, how just to finally be able to play a game and play somebody, how eager is this team just to show people what you're all about?
The team is ready. We've been hitting each other every day, but now is the chance to go out there Saturday, hit other people, and we ready.
Herbert Gums is ready. Fresno State getting a big stop, it looked like, at the goal line on 4th down. I don't have that game on, but it looks like Fresno State is trying to beat Purdue. That would be a nice win for the Mountain West on the road. Now, Purdue is not exactly a top team in the country this year. I think it was a 3-point spread, though, that Purdue was favored. So let's see if we got some other scores coming in here. Michigan all over East Carolina. Tennessee is up 42-10. That Colorado-TCU game is still 31-28 with 12 minutes to go. Colorado is up on TCU. Utah State not having a ton of success, 24-6 against Iowa there as we look at the Mountain West action. Fresno State is leading 32-28 with 8 minutes to go. 32-28 with 8 minutes to go there at Purdue. So excited for today's game. Going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody for checking us out. We got to get off due to the rules here about being off 30 minutes prior to kickoff. So we're going on an hour and 20 minutes here on the pregame show. Get your last-minute score predictions in. If it's up until game time, we'll count it. Please consider subscribing, BroncoNationNews.com. We'd love to have you. BroncoNationNews.com. You can subscribe $50 for the rest of the day using that promo code GameWeek. That's right. Use the promo code GameWeek, and you get a 1-year subscription just for $50. So check that out. Game Week is the coupon code, $50, 1-year subscription. It ends at the end of today, so make sure you jump in for that. So again, Boise State, Washington coming up on ABC. We got Jordan Kaye here. We got myself, obviously, so multiple reporters here from Bronco Nation News. You can read Jordan's coverage after the game. I'll have a post-game column. Mike Prater's going to have a post-game column. And then you'll be able to watch our post-game show as well. So it'll be about an hour after the game. So if you got any errands you want to run or anything you want to run as soon as the game ends, we're going to do our interviews with the players and coaches, come back up to the press box about an hour after the game ends. We'll be live with the Lithia Florida Boise post-game show. So make plans. Join us after the game. It's going to be fun. We'll follow us on social media, Twitter. It's going to be awesome. And so appreciate everybody for checking us out on the pregame show. And we'll have plenty of coverage on the post-game show as well, breaking down Boise State and Washington. So thank you, everybody, for checking us out. Thank you to all of our sponsors. And we'll talk to you guys later at Bronco Nation News Live. Lithia, Florida, Boise pregame show. Boise State and Washington coming up here shortly on ABC. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the season. It's going to be a fun ride, and we're going to have you covered every step of the way. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.